Hey there guys, Next Gen Strike here, back again for another video, and today we get to talk about a really fun topic, and it is the removal of net neutrality and the FCC regulations on the internet. And I am a little late to the party, but that does not mean I'm not going to speak my mind, because when it comes to stuff like this that our stupid government decides to throw on us for no reason, I get really pissed. So I, of course, want to display my thoughts, and you guys love rants anyway, so here we go. So for those of you who don't know what the heck's going on, which honestly I didn't know what the heck was going on until I watched Boogie's video and Review Tech USA. I watched both of theirs, and now I have a better understanding of what's going on. But basically what happened was 3 judges pretty much ruled that, net neutrality, we can't abide by this anymore, and that companies can charge whatever they want for certain websites to use them, kind of like cable does now. If you want certain channels, you have to pay more because of the premium or whatever. And yeah, so pretty much it allows companies, which I think Verizon and AT&T were shockingly pulling for this. It allows them to pretty much tear up the internet and say, oh, well, you want to use Facebook? Well, guess what? You got to pay the social media package, which is $20 extra on your already huge bill, which is outrageous. So if you want it, here you go. So yeah, it's just stuff like that. It's just really irritating, Now, it's not to say that the FCC is like the greatest thing in the world, but honestly, I'm gonna fight for FCC. We need to seriously support FCC because, the government is just so stupid in the United States. I mean, that's like probably the worst thing about our country is the government. Because, I mean, some of the people here are just complete morons, yes. And some of them are just really stupid, as you guys know. But the government is just they're just like a poison. It's like we try and elect and get the best people we can in there. And then once they get in there, they just do whatever they can for a quick buck. And this proves it exactly, because what happens? Well, a system has been working since the internet was around, since what, the 80s, I think, something like that. I don't know. Well, I wasn't alive then, so I couldn't tell you. I think it was the 80s when it first became really big, though. So yeah, ever since then, there's not been any caps on anything. We've been able to look at whatever we wanted. And now, all because these big companies are just, throwing some cash towards the government, like, hey, don't you think it's a good idea for us to be able to charge extra for the internet? And then, Congress is like, oh, sure, but just make sure we can do whatever we want on the internet, right? So yeah, it's pretty much just, hey, you give me money and I give you money, which is ridiculous, but that's the way this country works. It's no longer about what is just and fair in this country. It is about who has the most money and what's the most popular. I mean, really, that's all it is. Like, if something's popular, it's instantly the greatest thing in the world, and if you don't think so, then, just middle finger to you. And that doesn't really apply to the government. That applies to everything, to be quite honest. That's been that way, at least for the entire 21st century. It's probably been that way before that, too, but anyway. And, in my short time on the internet, I've faced a problem like this before. It's been a while, but SOPA, I fought against that bill for quite some time. I didn't do too many videos on it, thankfully. I kind of caught the later part of that. But now I have to be fighting this. And this is in one of the, I guess, earlier stages. But we cannot lose any more ground on this. We need to start gaining ground. So basically what you guys need to do is you need to complain and raise as much hell as possible on this issue, because we do not want this to go through. Because basically what's going to happen is, these providers who we get our internet through, which, by the way, they already rip us off on cable and our cell phones, because, it's ridiculous to pay that much for all that stuff. It really is. It really is. It's ridiculous. But, no one takes a stand against it till they're allowed to do it, whatever. But now they're trying to do that with the internet, where it's like, oh, look at all these popular websites, Netflix, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever else. I mean, there's like a lot you can go through. But for those things, of course, they're going to be like, oh, well, this is popular, so let's charge everybody for them, which is stupid. Now, of course, those of you who are watching this that are from a foreign country, you might be wondering, well, why should I care about this? And there's a truck backing in. Okay, I think it just went away. If you guys heard beeping, that's what that was. But yeah, if you guys are wondering, like, why would this affect me? Why should I care about the United States? Well, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, the United States is what I would call a bully country. And you know what? You guys can call me unpatriotic, whatever. America sucks, okay? It just does. Most of the time it does. That's just me. But America is a bully country, and if we want something, we will pretty much stick our guns in everyone's faces and say, no, it's our way or the highway. Oh, but we're just whatever. So when we do this about the internet, it's going to affect everybody. Maybe not directly, but like with SOPA and all those other stupid bills they're still trying to get through, they just want control over everything, and they want a piece of the pie, you know? It's pretty much the same reason as to why drugs have become legal now, because drugs aren't ethically bad, yes, but it's all about money. Same thing with this. They want money, so that's going to happen. So basically what's going to happen is for all of us in the States who are going to have to abide by this, it's going to limit our sort of creativity and our ability to access things, which is going to limit ourselves and what we can accomplish, because we're not going to have access to the full internet, which is supposed to be, you know, just a vast pool of knowledge. And now we're not going to have access to that. So it's going to cut off all of that creativity and all that potential for us to grow, because, you know, in order to, you know, make your own website or start up your own thing, well, if you're having to pay an extra fee in order to do that kind of stuff, that's going to stop anyone from getting a good head start. And it's kind of going against the quote-unquote American dream, but whatever. So with that in mind, you know, it's going to eliminate all of that, which then usually influences other countries, and then we're not going to be able to see what other countries create because we're not going to be able to see everything. So it's a real problem. And I don't know if you guys can completely understand what I'm saying, but yeah, it's just so irritating. Like, what gives you the right, government? What gives you the right to think that you can control me and what I can look up on the internet? Because you have no control over that. I'm sorry, but you do not deserve to be able to control what I do on the internet. If I want to go on 4chan and spend 18 hours on 4chan, then you know what? That's my business. Now, I don't go on 4chan, but honestly, if this goes through, 4chan's gone. You know, like 4chan is probably one of the quote-unquote worst websites on the internet just because of all the just like stuff that's hidden in it. It's gotten better from what I've heard, but you know, stuff like that's going to go away. And pornography, that's going to be an interesting one because that's a big industry. That might be in a premium package. I can see that being in a premium. I don't think they'll be able to get rid of that. But, you know, just stuff like that. It's really going to affect everything. So we really have to do our best to just fight against this because, you know, I give the middle finger to the government all the time. And that's what they deserve. And you know what? If you don't like what I have to say, government, kill me. Because I'm not going to stop talking. I'm dead serious, okay? And I know some of you are like, oh man, he's so tough talking behind a computer. But really, this kind of stuff I don't stand for. And none of us should. And if enough of us stand up and say no, then it's not going to happen. And I think that we're going to be able to do that because the internet is our greatest tool against the government, and that's why they want to control it so much. But we have such a tight grip on the internet, which is good. We're able to stop them from doing that. So if we can just have our nice little death grip on the internet, we can protect ourselves because it's the ultimate tool for any country. That's why in some countries they don't even allow people to get on the internet, or they can only get on certain websites because it's the ultimate tool against oppression. So that's my little spill for the day. But yeah, basically, fight the power, be a hippie, whatever you want to call it. But seriously, we got to stop this because they're going to limit not only what websites we can get on, but what we can really say on the internet. Because if they don't like our opinions, they can just say, oh, nope, you're blocked. Can't get on that anymore. Sorry. And of course, Verizon and AT&T would do this because they are so selfish. Well, all of them are pretty selfish, but they're pretty bad. So, naturally. Anyway, tell me below what your thoughts are on this issue, and if you're getting really heated, and make sure to leave extremely nasty comments about the government because that's what we need. And that's all I had for now. Catch you guys later.